Hi, welcome to the Metal and Wood Shop. We're located in room 1211 at the Student Innovation Center. Here, we have some important safety protocols that we need to follow. We have a line here, and you have to have the proper PPE or personal protective equipment to cross this line. What we require in this shop is closed-toed shoes and closed-heeled shoes, long pants, and safety glasses. If you have long hair, it's a good idea to tie it back. Long sleeves, you should pull them up. Also, remove any loose or dangling jewelry such as watches, necklaces, and rings. And if you have strings on your sweatshirt, tie them or tuck them in. We ask that you scan in on our card readers and tell us why you're here. On our website, you can find a list of restricted materials, so as you're planning a project out, you know what you can and can't use. All of our tools in the shop have a designated safety level, and those levels correspond to the level of supervision that they need and the risk those tools provide. We also have everything locked, so when you come in, you need to talk to a shop supervisor and get the tool unlocked so that you can start your project. We look forward to seeing you soon. This is the miter saw, found in room 1211, the Metal and Wood Makerspace at the Student Innovation Center. This saw is meant to perform crosscuts on wood and some plastics. It can perform straight, miter, bevel, or compound crosscuts. It cannot cut curves or perform rip cuts on wood or plastic. It also cannot cut any metals. It is a safety level 2 machine. This means that in order to operate it, 2 trained users must be present. This can be 2 trained friends, a user and a makerspace assistant, or a user and a shop supervisor. Your material cannot be shorter than 12 inches in length, so you want to measure and plan out your cuts. Keep in mind the kerf of your blade. This is the material removed with each cut of the saw blade. This saw has a kerf of 1/8 inches. It can be helpful to mark out your cuts with a pencil, tape measure, and a framing square. If you have multiple of the same cuts to make, use a stop block set up on the fence. There are 2 parts to operating the saw. There is a safety slide. You will move this slide to the left or right to release the safety lock. Then, there is a handle button. You will squeeze this button with your fingers to engage the motor and start the saw. You will release these to stop the saw. This lever switches between sliding miter saw and fixed miter saw functionality. This is the miter adjustment locking knob and angle gauge for miter cuts. This is the locking lever and angle gauge for bevel cuts. You'll be shown how to set up miter, bevel, and compound cuts in the hands-on training. Place your material up against the fence, and without pressing any of the buttons, bring the saw down to align your cut mark with the edge of the saw blade. When confident in your alignment, return the blade to its utmost position. Firmly hold the workpiece down on the table with your left hand and up against the fence at least 6 inches from the saw blade. Never cross arms to hold a workpiece. Always start the saw at the highest point. The blade guard fully encloses the blade, and you are the farthest from your material at this point. Never start the blade in contact or manually hold the guard up. To start the saw, use your thumb to move the safety slide, and then squeeze and hold the button on the handle to engage the saw. Slowly lower the blade into your piece to complete your cut. Make sure you continue your cut until the saw reaches the bottom of its travel. Keeping the saw in the down position after the cut, you can release the button on the handle and let the blade naturally come to a stop. Once the blade has stopped, you can raise it back to the utmost position and remove your material. If performing a miter, bevel, or compound cut, this procedure is the same. Sweep up any sawdust or wood scraps and place them in the correct recycling bin. Any offcuts or scrap pieces can be placed in the wood scrap bin.